extra quick spot.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I tell you what, a person who believes that this wasn't set up by our own government is an idiot.
Meanwhile, gotta say meanwhile, because of course he doesn't just sit at home and do nothing all day, and of course he didn't have friends over all night and he does absolutely nothing. So meanwhile, my beings, the length of whose rows added together was about 7 miles, already planted, were impatient to be hoed, for the earliest had grown considerably before the latest were in the ground. Indeed, they were not easily to be put off. What was the meaning of this steady and self-respecting, this small Herculean work? Labor, I'm sorry. Herculean. You know Hercules, right? Not the Rock. Yeah. No, not the Rock. Okay. Hercules. Okay, all right. This, at any rate, so that means that this was some hardcore labor here. I know not. Because he wasn't used to doing this kind of work. I came to love my rows, my beings, though so many more than I wanted. They attached me to the earth. And so I got strength like Antaeus. Okay, another song. But why should I raise them? Only heaven knows. In other words, he could have just bought him some beans. You know what I'm saying? He could have just bought some beans. Why is he growing beans? He just decided that he wanted to feel a connection with the people who are actually growing it, not for fun, but for real. This was my curious labor all summer. Curious implying that he did just that. Grew it just so he can know what it's like. To make this portion of the earth's surface, which had yielded only cinquefoil, blackberries, johnswort, and the like. This is stuff that just naturally grows there. Before sweet wild fruits and pleasant flowers produce instead this pulse. What shall I learn of beings or beings of me? I cherish them. I hold them early and late, and I have an eye to them. And this is my day's work. It is a fine broad leaf to look on. My auxiliaries are the dews and the rains which water this dry soil, and what fertility is in the soil itself, which for the most part is lean and effete. My enemies, he goes to battle every day. My enemies are worms, cool days, and most of all, his most hated animal on the planet now is the woodchuck. It's a bird. The woodchuck have nibbled for me 1/4 of an acre clean. That's a lot of beans. That's a lot of beans. But what right had I to oust johnswort and the rest and break up their ancient herb garden? In other words, he can't really complain about, the woodchuck. He kind of did the same thing when he went and tore all the natural stuff that was there up. Soon, however, the remaining beings will be too tough for them. Meaning the woodchuck, at a certain point in growth in the beans, he can't handle them. He can't get into them. Excellent. And go forward to meet new foes. As a vegetarian, them beans are finished. You get it? He's going to. At any rate. Now I'm to the point. Right after this point, you can go. So listen. Pay attention, Mr. Sloth. I need for you to pay attention to the next paragraph. It may seem completely unrelated to the paragraph that came, even the chapters that came, but it answers our question that we've been so long to know the answer to. Listen carefully. When I was 4 years old, as I well remember, I was brought from Boston to this, my native town. We just answered our question in that one line. Why is he so interested in nature? Environmentalist. Why did he decide to do this experiment? And why Walden Pond? He grew up there.
Next to the pond?
He grew up in Concord. He used to play in those woods near that pond. That was his place. He knew this place. This is where he developed a love for nature.
Do you like nature?
Yeah, I like nature.
Are you gonna go to the pond?
No, it won't be a pond. It might be a, I don't know. By the time I get, no, I looked at it. I actually had to find an older Google thing just so you can see the pond. Now they have completely drained it. So it's no longer in existence. Okay, all right, let's continue. Let's continue. All right, no problem. It's still, hey, the pond is still there in my mind. Let me just finish. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, whoa. Now, through these very woods and this field to the pond, it is one of the oldest scenes stamped on my memory. And now tonight my flute has waked the echoes over that very water. He's reliving his childhood. The pines still stand here older than I. The same trees are still there. Or if some have fallen, I have cooked my supper with their stumps. And then a new growth is rising all around, preparing another aspect for new infant eyes, new generations to see. Almost the same johnswort springs from the same perennial root in this pasture, and even I at length helped to close that fabulous landscape of my infant dreams, his childhood dreams. And one of the results of my presence and influence is seen in these being leaves. This is why he cares for them so much. He's literally pampering these beings. And you have to have a love for nature if you're doing this. I need for you to write this idiom down. A labor of love. Labor of love. A labor, no, not that. A labor of love.
Why are you saying it to me?
Okay. A labor of love. In other words, this is hard labor for him, but it's really not. As he's doing this, beings and planting them and tending them, he's at the same time reliving his childhood. So he actually has found, and here's the point that he's making, Miss Yasmin, he is finding happiness in this Herculean labor, this very hard labor. Those who would assume that just because they see the person in the field, they must be sad, depressed. How do you know? Maybe they grew up like that and they love this. They wouldn't want to do anything else. A labor of love. And now he's explaining, why am I so into this? Is it normal? Well, let me explain. When I was 4 years old, I was brought here. This is what I used to see and do all day long.
When he was 4 years old, he was at home.
But he was around people who was. But I think his family did. How else did he get the skill? YouTube, that's right. Do they have that on YouTube? I'm pretty sure they do. Okay. All right, in the passion. And even I have at length helped enclose that fabulous landscape of my infant dreams, and one of the results of my present influence is seen in these leaves, corn blades, and potato vines. His love for the land, you can see it in his labor in the land. So this answers all we need, a lot of what we need or what we wanted to know about him, why he's doing that. I mean, is he just like a scientist, completely detached? Did he come there and just buy some beans and chill out in the cabin and holler at his friends that came by and all of that? Or did he try to live the life? Was he like some rich guy in the suburbs and then decided to become like a gangster rapper? Or did he live the life? And then and, decided, he lived in street credibility. For him, it'd be dirt road credibility. He has dirt road cred. So he's down. He's gangster. Because he know how to make the beans. I know about the beans. if you didn't know how to live this life, you wouldn't know about the beans. I know about the beans. And I can hold some beans. You can't do that. So he's not pretending. He's not messing with the pretendo. He's messing with the, real stuff. Okay. All right. So that's the point I wanted to make. Okay. All right. So I got a question, but we got to go back to chapter 5 and 6 to the end. We're going to finish chapter 7 tomorrow. But I want to go back to chapter 5 and 6 in a minute. I want to know, Miss, what's your name?
This is chapter 5.
Huh? Lojan? I want to know, what are visitors to him? What are visitors?
Someone pressing his thoughts on the vision.
Okay. A visitor is someone who's power driving him in the head with the elbow.
Yeah.
Okay. Does everyone agree with that?
No.
No? Miss Latest? Miss Sorry. Miss Latest, what is a visitor to him? What is a visitor? Yes. His idea of a visitor, what is it? Is it someone who comes and argues and fights with him, bothering his peace and tranquility, making him agitated, irritated, upset, angry? Yes?
Someone with him, he don't like to be alone.
He doesn't like to be alone. So he hates being alone. It's like the worst thing he can ever think of. That thing that he dreads. Yes?
Being alone is unpleasant.
Yes? What do you mean, no? That's what you just said. You said he hates to be alone. He hates the idea of not having people.
He finds it unpleasant.
Huh?
He
He finds it unpleasant. And he never found pleasantness in it. Yes?
What? No. In being alone. Yeah.
Yeah, he never found pleasantness in being alone.
Not never. He can be alone. He doesn't mind being alone. He just
Finds it unpleasant.
Don't want to.
he prefers.
Okay. All right. Now let's enter into visitors. Back to my question. What is a visitor to him? By the end of chapter 5, we get a really good idea of what a visitor, what he considers a visitor. Now, Miss Lojan, yes, says that it's somebody who likes to argue and fight with him about different things.
اوكي بص انت ماشي؟ طب خدني معاك استنى.
Oh.
استنى مروح معاك.
Anybody else?
مين ده اللي ماشي؟ هو ايه الناس اللي بتمشي؟
Anybody else leaving? Or
You
anybody else?
young ladies and you young gentlemen. You young ladies and you young gentlemen. I'm not being nice today. Miss Jasmine. Miss Jasmine. Miss what?
Yes.
He gives us the flowers.
Miss Yasmin, I think we need to relax. We need to calm down. Okay. I still didn't get to answer my question. What are visitors to him? At least Lord Jane told us something. I need somebody to tell us something else. What is a visitor? What does he consider a visitor? Describe him, her visitor to me. Somebody. Anybody.
A visitor is someone who comes by his house.
Listen.
A visitor is someone who goes by his house and spends some time with him.
Mr. Abdul Rahman and Mr. Omar Atif. Would you please relax? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it if you stop. Thank you. Go ahead.
A visitor is someone who stops by his house and spends time.
Okay. So a visitor is someone who, so anybody who stops by and hangs out.
Regardless of whether he's arguing or not arguing, that does not say that he's a visitor.
Well, let me ask you this now. In chapter 6, okay, I got to go back to chapter 6. Got to go back to chapter 6. Back in chapter 6, I want to read something in chapter 6. I believe it's day 2. Chapter 6, day 2. I'm going to read a line, and I want you to tell me if this matches what you just said, and if this matches what you said. Here it is. Listen carefully. I had more visitors when I lived in the woods than at any other time in my life. I mean that I had some. I know it sounds a bit contradictory.
No, I think it means that even though the visitors he had weren't many, when he wasn't in the woods, he practically had no visitors. That in comparison, he had more.
No. He's
No, in the
literally
woods he had more visitors than any other period in his life.
okay.
But even in the woods, he didn't have many visitors. Meaning, in his normal life, he didn't have any visitors. Well, like little.
Then why did he say I had more?
Because he had like one.
One is more.
No. Now we're going back to the definition, Mr. Abdul Rahman. Now we're going back to his definition of visitor. Now I might agree with you. Maybe he had more people, or he saw more people. More people came to, interact with him outside of the woods. But he specifically says visitors, didn't he?
I don't think by this one.
Yeah. So, what is his definition of visitors?
People who have intellectual competition.
Okay, Alfie, now we get more. Come on. Now we get more. Huh? Thought.
People who share his interests.
No, we talk about real people. This is not a metaphor.
I don't think it's talking about human beings.
Yes, he's talking about human beings. I can clear that up. He said visitors.
I was actually thinking maybe.
All right, no.
People who share interests with him. He can find something to talk about.
Okay, we're listening to that. We're hearing that. His definition of visitor is someone who comes to visit him and is an enjoyable visitor where he can enjoy the company, nice conversation, blah, blah, blah. Someone who is really concerned about him and what he's doing and so forth and so on. But now let's go. Now we need to go to chapter 7. Omar, stop talking. Stop talking. I don't know what y'all whispering to each other. Stop talking, please. Abdul Rahman, I asked you not to do that. That's not proper etiquette in a classroom. It's not a proper etiquette in public. It's not a proper etiquette, period, between two people who are not necessarily, connected through any type of bloodlines.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it ice?
Yeah. Not eyes. Did I say eyes? Where'd you get eyes from that? Chapter 7.
Chapter 7.
Where is he from?
Boston. He was born in Boston.
No.
Concord?
Yes.
Didn't say where he grew up. He said
Okay.
Concord.
You know what I mean? Concord. Thank you. He's from Concord. He's from Concord. Where is he right now?
Concord.
He's in Concord. Oh, so that must mean that everybody who came to visit him must be somebody he knew.
At some point.
At some point. Some real friends from maybe back in the day. Right. So, he had more meaningful people come to see him during that period of time than any other time. May not necessarily be more people. And that's why he ended it by saying, I had some.
Yeah, it's actually.
So he had a lot of the people that he considers visitors. Not everybody he considers a visitor.
So not anyone that comes by his house is a visitor.
Right. But we understand that term in different ways. This is the point he's trying to make. We would get depressed if a bunch of people wouldn't come visit us.
No, really?
He wouldn't because he only likes certain caliber of people. Some people only like to deal with people who are educated, people who have stuff in their brains, people who can talk about stuff and discuss stuff, people who you ask a question about something that's happening, they go, huh? He doesn't like people like that. Who likes people like that? No. Yeah, you're right. Some people like airheads. I never was the one who liked airheads. You know what an airhead is, right?
Someone
If you open the skull, you will find nothing but I'm imagining you. The air comes. Okay. All right, that's about as funny as the MC Hammer joke.
You like airheads.
Huh?
You like airheads.
Airheads?
Yes.
No,
Yes, you do. You're a teacher. You have to.
yeah, you're right. I have to like that. I love airheads. Mr. Ahmed Osama, I don't know what you're doing, homie. Can you sit down? Oh, I'm sorry. Yusuf Waleed. Can you sit down, please, sir? I know you own the classroom, but can I have it? Can I have it a little bit? A little bit? I know. From you or for you? Which one? For you or from you?
From you.
Oh, from you. Okay. For Facebook? What? I said something about you on Facebook? What? Facebook? What about Facebook? I didn't do nothing to you on Facebook.
How you can how يعني
I didn't say anything about Facebook.
You're saying if he's Ahmed Osama.
I mean, well,
My name is Yusuf Walid.
I mean, well, you know, if you were an engaging student who came to class prepared every day, I would know your whole name by heart and everything about you. But since you're not that way, I forget. What you know. Yeah. You know, I mean, what you want from me? You know, it's the same, different. Okay. You got the point I'm trying to make this late. Even amongst the confusion, you got the point I'm trying to make by chapter 7. Okay, so now we have pretty much answered that question. The only other thing about chapter 7 is, and I said it, he's trying to live the life of the native people in the area who actually work hard on the land to earn their keep.
But there's
He could have just went there and bought a big sack of beans and he didn't have to worry about
But
it.
there's another unanswered question.
Another unanswered question. Go ahead.
He likes it so much.
He's planting beans and the machine.
But I'm making the video and it's like, it looks really crazy with you walking right in front of the video like that. The blue light is not on because I deactivated it. Because I hate seeing the blue light. You know, when I'm making the video, I got to edit all that out. You going here and she's saying this and that. And that's a headache for me. Editing video. I got other things to do with my time. Go ahead, Miss Ladies. Go ahead. Go ahead.
By trying to live
The life. Live the life.
that's why he's planting.
1 minute. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You say he's trying to live the life of what?
Of the native people, the people who live there.
That's why he's planting beans and stuff so
Yeah. So he can do the same kind of work they do. So when he goes to tell people like us about his experience, we can't say, well, you wouldn't really know how it is because you didn't like farm or nothing. You had a big bag of beans and you just kicked back all day and you threw them on the pot and bam, you know. But no, he didn't do that. He didn't go with a big sack of money and, you know. Yeah, but on my last point, in the last chapter, he made the comment that when he had his esteemed and distinguished guests to come, that he would have them in his favorite place, which was under the shade tree, and he would have his servant, did he say, he didn't say servant, practice domestic to clean the area. He was actually making a joke. He didn't have the maid. He was the one doing the cleaning.
He was referring to himself.
Yeah, he was referring to himself because, when he's living the life. He's getting the cred. I mean, he's the street. He's doing the dirt road credibility thing. So, he's being gangster. He's living the life.
Mr. Quick. Now the unanswered question.
Yeah.
Back to the unanswered question. Clearly he loves it so much.
Yeah.
Why did he ever leave? Or why did he leave after he wrote the book?
Ah, good. Why did he? Because he left. It's really simple. He's not saying he totally hates the other life.
But he likes this one more.
He likes this one more, but he also wants to prove that happiness is not about what life you're living. Happiness is about living life. So whether you live in life in the woods, whether you live in life in the town or whatever, the point is living life is the issue, not how you're living. You get what I'm saying? So he preferred to live life in the town, but he wanted to prove to us by living in the woods for 2 years that it's living.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, living life is the point, not how you're living. I got that point. I know. Yes. Ooh, we covered a lot without the phone. In Islamic school. I'll talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, that's rolling the hard way. We don't want to roll quite that hard. We want to get one of them little minibuses.
What's up?
Tell you what, a person who believes that this wasn't set up by our own government is an idiot.
Everybody's gone out of their mind.
Welcome to Mr. Quick's class.
Welcome to Mr. Quick's class. Welcome to Mr. Quick's class. Welcome, Mr. Quick's class. Oh yeah. All right.